Harvey Milk was born on May 22, 1930 in Woodmere, New York, into a small Jewish family. A well-liked student who excelled in school and sports, he attended New York State College for Teachers before enlisting in the Navy. After being discharged from the Navy for his homosexuality, he held a variety of jobs in New York, but never found his place. In 1972, Harvey migrated from New York to San Francisco and opened Castro Camera right in the heart of the city's LGBTQ community. There, he found his voice. As a prominent member of the Castro District, Harvey Milk was elected to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors in 1977. During his short term in office, he campaigned across California to end discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation. While Milk was assassinated in 1978, his legacy is clear. By breaking the social barriers preventing an openly gay man from serving in government, he paved the way for future politicians from the LGBT community to serve their country. Upon arriving in San Francisco, Harvey Milk almost immediately started influencing local politics. He organized a group of LGBTQ business owners, the first of its kind, to give its members a voice in the community. Immediately, the group started to boycott companies that treated LGBTQ people unfairly. For example, Harvey and the Teamsters Union started boycotting 6 beer companies who refused to hire minorities, including members of the LGBTQ community. This boycott worked with 5 out of the 6 companies signing their proposed contract forbidding such discrimination. Harvey Milk grew to be a prominent leader in the Castro District, often being called the mayor of Castro Street. However, this role did not translate into immediate political success. Harvey ran several unsuccessful campaigns for office before finally winning election to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors in 1977. This victory brought great joy to the entire community of the Castro District, especially to LGBTQ individuals who finally felt represented in local government. In 1978, conservative state legislator John Briggs introduced Proposition 6, which sought to ban homosexual teachers from teaching in California public schools. Supporters of the Briggs initiative believed its adoption would protect children from sexual assault in schools. Recognizing the ignorance of this belief, Harvey Milk started a campaign against Proposition 6. By appearing for television interviews and public appearances, Harvey raised opposition to the bill. His efforts included other prominent officials to speak out against Proposition 6, such as President Jimmy Carter.
I oppose all forms of discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation.
And Governor Ronald Reagan.
Since the measure does not restrict itself to the classroom, it has the potential of infringing on basic rights of privacy and perhaps even constitutional rights.
The movement to kill Proposition 6, led by Milk, worked amazingly well. When all ballots were counted, the initiative was defeated by over 1 million votes. The successful stand to defeat legalized discrimination was a victory for human rights across the state. Mayor Moscone said,
"This is not a victory over a lightweight like John Briggs. It is a victory over the despair that has fallen on gay people. It's a victory of intellect over emotion."
Harvey Milk did not have long to revel in his victory, as only weeks after Proposition 6 was defeated, Harvey Milk was assassinated on November 27, 1978. Dan White, who had served on the Board of Supervisors with Milk and believed that Harvey never should have won office, shot and killed both Milk and San Francisco Mayor George Moscone. After these murders, San Francisco citizens took to the streets to express their outrage. The days following the assassinations were filled with riots and protests, but eventually settled down to nights of candlelight vigils for those 2 influential leaders. Knowing that some opposed his service because of his sexual orientation, Harvey Milk had recorded a statement for his friend to listen to in the event of his assassination. It contained an impassioned plea.
I would love to see every gay doctor come out. I would like to see every gay lawyer, every gay judge, every gay bureaucrat, every gay architect come out, stand up, let the world know. That would do more to end prejudice overnight than anybody could imagine. I urge them to do that. Urge them to come out. Only that way we will start to achieve our rights.
The gay pride movement had come out of the closet and into the public space. 3 years after his death, over 600,000 people in the LGBTQ community took part in a Washington, D.C. Pride March in 1981, which is 475,000 more than in 1978. Though Harvey Milk's time as a public official was cut short by an assassin's bullet, his lasting impact is undisputed. In an interview with The Advocate in 2019, former Houston Mayor Sheriff Davis recalled,
"As a lesbian activist in the 1970s, I watched Harvey Milk's run for office with intense interest, inspired by his determination to be an out and proud elected official when most hesitated to even declare their sexual orientation openly."
Because of Harvey Milk's decision to be more open about his sexuality while campaigning and serving in a public office, others felt more comfortable doing the same. In the last midterm election, there were 10 openly LGBTQ candidates elected to the 116th Congress. A former member of the House of Representatives, Jared Polis, broke barriers of his own when he became the first openly gay man to be elected governor of a state, my home state of Colorado. When I asked him about Harvey Milk, he remarked,
"I think that Harvey Milk had a really significant impact on the nation, just as many other trailblazers have, by taking incredibly difficult leaps and paving the way for those of us who follow, like me. For centuries, shame and stigma defined the lives of LGBTQ people, but less and less so today, in part because people like Harvey Milk and Representative Barney Frank, who courageously paved the way for LGBTQ Americans to serve our nation, and our state has come a long way from 27 years ago, when we were dubbed the hate state when anti-LGBTQ discrimination was legalized. We should draw strength from the incredible progress we've made in recent years and keep breaking those barriers and fighting for equality and civil rights. For the first time in Colorado's history, women are now a majority in our legislature. We have our first openly transgender state representative. More than 60% of my cabinet members are women, and the majority of my administration's senior staff are women. This is important not only because representation matters, but because more diversity actually crafts better policy by making sure people from all backgrounds are at the table. Colorado for all means a Colorado for everybody, no matter who you are or who you love.
In the time since Milk's assassination, the U.S. has dramatically improved its treatment of LGBTQ people. Though Harvey Milk was other than honorably discharged for his homosexuality, today the Navy, as well as all of the branches of the military, allow gay and lesbian members to serve openly. In 2016, the U.S. Navy named one of a newly built fleet of ships in his honor. Even in Salt Lake City, a city dominated by members of the conservative LDS Church, a large memorial of Harvey Milk can be found. It proclaims,
"All young people, regardless of sexual orientation or identity, deserve a safe and supportive environment in which to achieve their full potential."
Milk, in his best-known speech, said,
"And you've got to elect gay people so that that young child and the thousands upon thousands like that child know that there's hope for a better world. There's hope for a better tomorrow. Without hope, not only gays, but those blacks and the Asians, and the disabled, the seniors, the us's, without hope, the us's give up. I know that you cannot live on hope alone, but without it, life is not worth living. And you've got to give them hope. Thank you very much.